Okay, hello. So the questions is like often asked, why this place? Because when we talk about travel, so we always think about which place is good for travel, which place is good for like photo shootings, or I can do whatever things that relate to travels. But what experiencing things is that, do we have a really good place that good for architecture experiencing, or is it Sri Lanka is a good place for architecture experiencing? I think I can make up like a lot of good reasons. Let's look at this map. So we always start with the macro map. So we can see that there's a little points there. There's Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and there's Sri Lanka. So perhaps Sri Lanka is one of the places that nearest to us, but out of Southeast Asia, or maybe because Sri Lanka is a place that close to India and is a cleaner version of India. Like you often heard it in the website. So like when you want to go to challenge India, you're afraid that am I going there safe? Can I go alone? So before you take to the advanced one, you can take the beginner one. You can go to Sri Lanka to experience and feel it first whether you are like capable to go to India. Okay, sorry. So this is like few reasons that maybe Sri Lanka is a good place, or like what Miss Chia Ling Ling say that architecture elements in Sri Lanka, there's quite a lot. So you can like see a lot of things, a lot of architecture elements for use. And now we zoom into the micro map. We start with a point. Anupura, okay, whatever it is. So we have a starting point and we have following points that you research from the website. You know that, okay, these places are good for you to go travel. And so you make up all the points and you connect them together. Okay, this is my trip going to be in like a week. And you get more research and you found that, oh, maybe there's another two things I can go for. If you can see the red dotted lines, it is the most famous train route in Sri Lanka. Once is for the Gale, the most bottom one is close to the seaside. So you can have a scenery of like Spirited Away by Studio Ghibli. If you are fans of Studio Ghibli, you know what am I saying. There's another train that's close to the tea mountains. Like when you drive to the Cameron Highlands, you can see the tea gardens surround you. But in Sri Lanka, maybe it's a more flattened land. So these two things like make you have a very strong desire that, okay, I must go to Sri Lanka and buy train. But furthermore, when you check on the train system, you find that, oh, okay, there's like different story. Because when you look at the train system in Sri Lanka, which I overlaid in the existing map, so there's a blue line, red line, and green line, and you can find that they are not connected. They are all three separated lines. Means that if you want to go to the west side and you want to go down, you have to go back to the middle one and you go back again. If you want to go to the tea garden, and you have to go back to the middle point and then go back to the west. So it's a disaster, it's a mess. So when you thought your trip is going to be like this, but after you map out, it will be like this. So like in Sri Lanka, there's only one airport. So everything you thought you will start from here, but actually you have to start from the main city, Colombo. And then when you go to one place, you have to go back to the middle again. One place, middle again. One place, middle again. Yeah, this is how the trip mapped out. And this is from this map. Maybe this is why, like in Sri Lanka, it would have a very big, diverse culture scenery for you to see. Like what we can see from Miss Cha's slide, you can see from the Annapurna, the most northern part. It's more full of ancient temples, more with marks and everything. And when you go down to Kandy, it's a small town. And you go to Bentota, it's close to the seaside and maybe more modern, more cultural, more localities. And you go to Colombo, it's more contemporary. Maybe that's why they are so segregated. That's why they have so many different things that you can see. But in reality, maybe it's more crowded, more people, more weird attention you get because you are like maybe the only few Asian girls in travel. So hi, this is your Miss Doris. Yeah, I went with her. So you can see like, oh yeah, and we took the third class. So if you don't want to suffer yourself, actually you can pay more to go to the second one. At the first one, you can get the window side and the aircon one. But I mean, for experiencing purpose, that's why at the first we took the third class. So this is what you get. Yeah, it's not like as interesting as the seaside view or the tea garden views. It's actually more boring style, stone or grasses. But so when you're really into that space, what trigger your senses is not about looking at it, it's about the sound that surrounded you. And we as a traveler, we take it as an experience, like just once in a lifetime, we take it as an experience. But imagine the locals, they are doing this thing in their daily life. This they are part of their life. Like what Miss Cha just now, she mentioned that the locals even can recognize which bird is which type. I mean that this is like already be part of their life. So imagine a person, he want to go back to his hometown, he have to take this train, it's tiring, it's crowded, you have to squeeze in a small space and it's not comfortable, but it's not an experience for them, it's a daily life of them. And so, like in the past, actually I went to Sri Lanka like 4 years ago. At the time, I did take some pictures about Sri Lanka, and during that time, I'm going to show another slide. So, so I mean like this is what I have in my mind when I first traveled to Sri Lanka, like just after I went down the trip, I take some photos, but my way of experiencing it during that time is more timeline oriented or places oriented. Like my memory is formed by places. So maybe I'm more sentimental that time. So for every photos, I have like very details and long story behind each photos, like okay, the people are not take care about the environment, they just split the water everywhere, and from this scene you can see, wow, they can have coffee in the train, but you know how they get the coffee? There's someone hop into the train and sell it to them with the hot water bottles. So it's not like with a tray like what you see in Asia, like by places. But actually, like as the times goes by, you can't really rely much on your memory. So like after 4 years, when you ask me about what do you think about Sri Lanka again, there's a different things form in my mind. Like when I look at this picture again, the first thing I will think like, oh, okay, there's the language that I don't understand. So I'm in Sri Lanka, all these Sri Lanka characters, wow, so cute, so like cannot understand. And then the next, and then you have few more pictures that make you into a full picture. Like this is the newspaper again, but on the dining tables. What they use for? They use to wrap the food. So means that like newspaper in their daily life, they not only use it to read it, they more use it to like wrap for the food, to carry the food. They serve as a plate more than a reading materials, or maybe both. But this is like part of their culture. And Sri Lanka was also well known as their Buddha religion. So I'm going to show a series of pictures, and this is what I think about like the Buddhist religion in Sri Lanka is more down to earth, because you can see like it's also like part in their life as well. This is like early morning, like everyone just go there, whoever, even like the oldies, the disabled, even the soldiers. See, they are taking the pink flowers, and the Buddha statues is everywhere. It's like not in the middle of a very huge hall, but it's like somewhere at the corner. But you find your own inner peace. So anyway, as long as you have the heart, like you are staying with the Buddha, and you can do your ritual anywhere that you like. So you can see like these two cute aunties, they are like just doing under the big trees. But this is where I can see at the northern part of Sri Lanka. But as you travel down, you found that the temple is going grander and grander. It's like what you can went to the tourist places. And this one is like even have a big pavilion for all the people together, and they can do the ritual things together. So you can see like in every places, even though they practice their ritual differently, but like Buddhist is really part of their life. Maybe more modern, you have more modern things, and you are more building oriented or whatever things. And so I'm going to like end my slide also with this our all-time favorite lake space angle, which you can find in Geoffrey Bawa most proud project, his private house. So what I'm going to say is that this is actually a curious space that trigger you to look more. Oh, you can see there's a lake coming down, and you can guess who is the owner of this lake. And this is the curiosity that's tried to create in this space. And now I'm just trying to say that don't see this image as very architecture things, but I think like experiencing actually is quite personal things, and it won't fade away like how your memory form. It always accumulated along with your life. Like the older you get, the more things you know, the more things you look. Actually, the lesser things you will remember, but the things that stay in your mind, the lesser things that stay in your mind is what that you focus the most. So don't be too afraid like architecture as a very high class profession, but take architecture as a thinking tools as you, like as a experiencing tools for you. And throughout the pictures, the photos that you collect during this year, I mean throughout like go to different places, travel, or throughout your daily life, you will find out that maybe you are more interested in humans, so maybe you are more into like portrait photography, and maybe throughout all the photos you found that you are more interested in the street, or maybe you are still thinking about the question why their railway system is still messy. Maybe you are good for like an urban planner or urban planning. I mean, architecture maybe is the starting point, a fundamental tools for you to start looking and explore yourself. And this is what I think experience in architecture can benefit us. Okay, I'm going to end my slide here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Ho Kae Jing, for that informative presentation. I'm very sure everyone has learned something new today after both the presentations. So once again, I'd like to thank both Ms. Chalin Lin and Ms. Ho Kae Jing for presenting. Now